All right, get ready because today we're diving deep into The Little Prince.
Ooh, exciting.
We're going to be using excerpts from the book itself.
Okay.
And also a short biography of the author,
Awesome.
Antoine de Saint-Exupéry.
Sounds fascinating.
Now, The Little Prince is often thought of as a children's book, right?
Yeah, most people think that.
And it's true. It is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also so much more.
I agree.
It's captivated adults for generations.
Really?
And we're going to try to uncover why that is.
Okay.
Explore its key messages, look at the author's life, and just see what makes this story so enduringly popular.
I like it. Digging deep.
Exactly, a deep dive.
You know, when you say hidden depths, one of the things that always gets me about this story is how it plays with perspective.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, right from the beginning.
Well,
with that drawing of the boa constrictor swallowing the elephant.
Right.
We see how limited our ways of seeing the world can be.
It's so funny because I remember reading that as a kid and being so confused.
Really?
Why did the adults just see a hat?
Yeah.
It felt like, I don't know, a secret code.
I know exactly what you mean.
Like only kids could understand.
It's like Saint-Exupéry is saying, hey, remember that childlike sense of wonder?
Oh, yeah.
Don't lose that.
Yeah.
As we get older, we get so focused on the practical stuff.
Right.
We miss those deeper meanings.
Oh, absolutely.
That symbolic language hiding in plain sight.
And that's something we see throughout the book, too.
Oh, for sure.
How the grown-ups, they're all about numbers and logic.
Totally.
And they kind of dismiss beauty and emotion.
Like they don't matter.
Exactly.
Think about the businessman.
Okay.
So busy counting those stars, he doesn't even see how beautiful they are.
Oh, right.
Or the lamplighter, so focused on his routine, he forgets why he's even doing it.
It makes you wonder, what are the baobabs in our lives, you know?
That's a good question.
The things we let take over?
Yeah.
That overshadow all the good stuff?
The things that really matter.
Yeah, the meaning, the joy, the connection.
Those baobabs, those are the negative thoughts, bad habits, all that.
Right.
Are we taking the time to weed them out?
We should be.
Yeah, because otherwise they choke the beauty out, just like with the Little Prince's rose.
Oh, speaking of that rose.
Yeah.
What a character, right?
This is something else.
Beautiful, smells amazing.
Definitely.
But also so demanding.
A bit thorny, too.
Yeah, and I mean, she basically drives the Little Prince away.
She does, but isn't that a bit like love in general?
I never thought about it like that.
The most precious things,
Uh-huh.
they need the most attention.
Oh, yeah.
And they can bring joy, but also frustration.
Yeah.
And yeah, even a little pain.
It's true.
We can't just admire beauty from afar.
Right.
We got to engage with it, care for it, even if we get pricks sometimes.
This makes you think about all the things we choose to tame in our own lives, right?
That word taming, it gets thrown around a lot.
It does.
But the fox in The Little Prince, he gives it a whole new meaning.
He does. It's not about controlling things.
No, not at all.
It's about connection.
Exactly.
Building something special together.
And the fox says that, quote, "It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye."
It gives me chills every time I hear it.
I know, right?
So simple, yet so profound.
It really makes you think about everything we miss when we're just focused on the surface.
Like what kind of things?
Well, think about the people you love.
Okay.
Your friends, family.
Yeah.
What do you value most about them? Is it how they look? Or is it something deeper?
You're right. It's their kindness, their humor, the memories we share.
Exactly.
Those invisible things.
The connections you build over time, that's what matters.
And that's what the fox is trying to teach the Little Prince.
Exactly.
It's about seeing the real value in something, not because it's rare or expensive, but because of what you've put into it.
The time, the care.
It's that taming process that creates something unbreakable.
And that's why the Little Prince freaks out when he finds that garden full of roses.
Oh, yeah, I remember that part.
He thinks his rose isn't special anymore.
Like she betrayed him.
But that's the real lesson.
The-
It's not about having the only rose in the world.
I see.
It's about recognizing that the one he left behind is special because of their bond.
Because of their relationship.
Yes, that.
The time they spent
And
together.
the care he gave her.
It's like the fox said, you become responsible forever for what you have tamed.
Powerful stuff, right?
It is.
And it's not just about romantic love.
Well,
It's about our friends, families, communities.
even our connection to nature.
all of it.
It's a much bigger idea of taming.
And being tamed, too.
It's not just one-sided.
When we connect with something, really connect, we're changed by it.
Right.
We become part of something bigger.
It's like we're weaving this huge tapestry of relationships.
I like that.
Each thread, a different connection, a different story,
Beautiful.
a different way of seeing the world.
And the Little Prince, He seems to realize that as he keeps going on his journey.
He does, and it's interesting how after all that, he ends up back on Earth.
But not just any part of Earth.
Right?
The Sahara Desert.
That vast, empty desert.
A place that reflects how lost and alone he feels.
It's such a powerful setting.
It is.
It's like the desert represents the human condition.
That feeling of being lost in a huge, indifferent universe.
And in that desert, he meets some pretty interesting characters.
He does.
The snake, offering a way back to the stars.
Yeah.
That echo in the mountains, showing how empty things can feel.
And that little flower struggling to survive.
Every encounter changes him a bit.
He starts to understand life's complexities.
The fragility of connection.
And he starts facing those big questions.
Like what?
The meaning of life.
Whoa.
Death.
Heavy stuff.
Finding connection in a world that can feel so isolating.
Yeah, it's pretty deep for a so-called children's book. Yeah.
It is, but that's what makes it so timeless.
So universal.
It speaks to those deep desires we all have.
No matter how old we are.
The search for love, meaning, a sense of belonging.
We're all on that search.
And that search continues as we move into the next part of the Little Prince's journey.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Sounds good. As we go deeper into the Little Prince's travels, it's amazing how each planet, it's like a reflection.
Of what?
Not just individual flaws, but like societal ones too.
Oh, interesting.
Like he's holding up a mirror
Whoa.
to all of us,
I see what you mean.
Our obsessions as a whole society.
Our blind spots.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so give me an example.
Okay, well, the businessman.
Yeah, he's obsessed with those stars.
He's so focused on getting more and more, he totally misses their beauty.
It's like our whole culture sometimes.
Is.
Always wanting more stuff.
More.
But forgetting
It
about
really matters.
Yeah. Love, connection, meaning.
All those things you can't buy.
And then, bam.
The fox.
Like a breath of fresh air.
I love that part.
Me too.
He's got all that wisdom.
About taming.
About seeing with the heart.
It's such a different view.
Right. It's not about owning or controlling.
Yep.
It's about understanding or building something real.
And that line he says.
Oh, it's fun.
It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye.
Man, I get goosebumps every time.
Every single time.
So simple, but so deep.
It makes you think about what we miss when we only look at what's on the surface.
Give me an example. I need to wrap my head around this.
Okay, think about your closest people.
Right.
Your friends, family.
Yeah.
What makes them so special to you? It's not about looks.
Definitely not.
It's something more.
Their kindness, their humor, the memories, you can't see those.
Those are the invisible things.
They're what make the relationship special.
And that's what the fox is trying to tell the little prince.
To see the true value.
Not the price tag.
It's about what you put into it.
That taming makes it unbreakable.
And then the little prince finds that garden.
Oh, with all the roses.
And he's heartbroken.
He thinks his rose isn't special anymore.
But that's the point.
What do you mean?
It's not about having the only one.
Oh.
It's about that connection.
That makes it unique.
The one he left behind is special because of their bond.
Because of what they built together.
The time, the care.
Like the fox said, you become responsible forever for what you have tamed.
Deep right.
It really is.
And it goes beyond just romantic love.
I was just thinking that.
It's all our relationships.
Friends, family.
Even nature.
Are all connected.
It's a bigger idea of taming.
And being tamed too.
Right. It's not a one-way street.
When we truly connect.
We're change.
We're part of something bigger.
It's like that tapestry we were talking about.
With all the threads.
Right.
Each one a different connection.
Different story, different view.
And the little prince, he gets that.
As his journey goes on.
And after all that, where does he end up?
Back on Earth.
Okay.
But not just anywhere.
Where then?
The Sahara Desert.
The desert.
Yeah, think about it.
Huge, empty.
It shows how lost he's feeling.
Like a symbol.
For how we all feel sometimes.
Lost in a big, uncaring universe.
Exactly.
And who does he meet there?
He meets some interesting characters.
Like who?
The snake, offering a way back to his star.
Right.
And that echo.
In the mountains.
Showing how empty things can feel.
And the tiny flower barely surviving.
Each one teaches him something.
About life, about connection.
He starts facing the big questions.
Which ones?
What's the meaning of life? What happens when we die?
Pretty heavy.
How do we connect when everything feels so isolating?
This is a kid's book, right?
It is, but that's what makes it so powerful.
It speaks to all of us.
No matter our age.
We're all searching for something.
Love, meaning, a place to belong.
And that search continues as the little prince's journey comes to an end.
Let's get into that final part.
Okay, I'm ready. We've come a long way with the little prince.
We have, across the universe, practically.
Explored all those planets, those characters.
So many lessons along the way.
And yet I still wonder,
Mm.
what happens to him in the end?
Ah, yes, the big question.
Does he make it back to his star?
Well, the author doesn't exactly tell us, does he?
It's such a mysterious ending.
Full of symbolism, open to interpretation.
What do you think happened?
We know he wants to go back.
Back to his rose, to his planet.
And the snake offers him away.
Yeah, but that
Not
snake,
captivate, right?
that bite, it's almost like,
It's like a metaphor,
yeah, for death maybe,
leaving the body behind.
to reach something beyond.
And the little prince seems to get it.
He does, he calls it a return,
Not an ending.
and tells the pilot not to be sad.
But how can he not be?
He's losing his friend.
This amazing being who changed his whole perspective.
It's a huge loss.
But maybe the little prince gave him something even better.
Like what?
That sense of wonder, that understanding of those invisible connections.
Remember how he described the little prince's laughter?
Like 500 million little bells.
It's beautiful.
Like his spirit is still out there everywhere.
And that final question, has the sheep eaten the flower?
It's more than just about the rose, isn't it?
What do you mean?
It makes us think about beauty, about life, how fleeting it all is.
And the power of those connections we make. So has the sheep eaten the flower?
I don't think there's one right answer.
You're right. It's up to each of us to decide.
What feels true to us based on our own experiences?
With life, with loss, with everything we care about.
That's what makes this story so powerful.
It doesn't give us the answers.
It makes us ask the questions.
Makes us search for our own meaning. And that's what makes it so timeless, so universal.
It connects to that deep part of us.
That longing for connection, for meaning.
For a way to see the world, not just with our eyes, but with our hearts.
And thinking about the author, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry.
He lived a life full of adventure, just like the little prince.
That love of flight, that fascination with what it means to be human.
It's all there in the story.
And how he disappeared during a mission.
Vanished into the sky.
Just like the little prince.
It's almost like life imitating art.
So what have we learned from this deep dive?
Maybe it's a reminder to hold on to that childlike wonder.
To cherish those connections.
To look deeper, to see with our hearts.
Because, like the fox says, what is essential is invisible to the eye. And if there's one thing I hope our listeners take away from this,
What's that?
don't be afraid to ask the big questions.
About life, about love.
Find your own rose, let it change you.
And when you look up at the stars,
Maybe you'll hear that laughter.
a reminder that even when things are tough,
There's still beauty, wonder, and hope to be found.
keep exploring, keep questioning.
And keep seeing with your hearts.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into The Little Prince.
We'll see you next time.